Hi, it's Hilton here, and I'm talking about a particular key area part of an interview I did with John Broadbent, author of Man Unplugged. Very, very good book. This one here is a really key area because this is for guys whose relationships are in trouble. And the title of this is, What Can I Do to Save My Relationship? So this is where John has some really very, very good insights into particular things that we can do. Because often, guys, we think we're doing the right thing. And I can tell you, we're probably not. This video actually outlines what you can do, how to actually communicate, and how to kind of change your thinking a bit in terms of if you want to save your relationship, please watch this video. So, John, in your experience, how can men navigate through this process?
So I think part of the sadness for me in seeing those situations is that as men we go out and do all the things we think we're supposed to be doing, the role that we play as the provider and the protector and the roof and the mortgage and the cars and the school and all that sort of stuff. And somewhere in that process we're so focused and entrenched on the role that we feel we need to fulfill that we actually disconnect from our partner, from our wife or partner if you're same-sex orientation. And as a result of that, in that disconnection, there's a loss of love. And sometimes as a result of that, the relationship tends to sort of separate and cool down quite a bit. And I remember many years ago, I was found a book that I was suggested to read when I met a guy who was a counsellor, and it was called Passionate Marriage.
Oh, right.
And it's probably one of the bravest books I've ever read on relationships. It's a
Passionate Marriage.
Phenomenal book written by an American guy, and this guy who I knew had actually been trained by the author.
Oh, right.
And he says that when you're in a relationship for like 20 to 25 years, and you can usually pick that at the Sunday morning breakfast at the cafe where the couple who are reading their newspapers or their social media and no one's talking to each other.
They're on their phones.
They're on their phones.
But they're not with each other.
But they're not actually with each other, sitting at the same
right.
table, but they're
That's
not
right.
connected.
Yeah, that's right.
And we think that when a relationship gets to this place of almost gridlock, that it's broken.
Right.
And the wonderful news is it's actually not.
Okay.
What we've done by that stage is we've said pretty well all that we think needs to be said. We've talked out the relationship.
Yeah.
But we've also established rules about what can and cannot be discussed. And he says you're actually at that point in your relationship, trust is usually very deep, respect is usually very deep, but there's all this stuff built around the relationship that needs to be cleared. And if you can go into what he calls the crucible, and that could be by going and getting some counselling to find out how to get some more vibrancy into your relationship, and you can then get back to the core of why you're together, which is usually based on trust and respect and love. Then you can burn away the bullshit of the relationship and reinvigorate it using the processes that he talks about and get another 20, 30 years of passionate marriage.
Nice. Okay. I know from being a lifeline counsellor, and this was interesting to me, and I was a men's line counsellor as well before I was a lifeline counsellor, among other things. But on the men's line, I used to get these calls all the time, and I thought, men must be so dumb. This is what I thought. In relation to this call, the call went like this. I've just come home. It's empty. She's left. She says she's not coming back. Now, I didn't just get one of these calls. I got them all the time. I was amazed how often I got them. The men's helpline was there to help men, so they would be there, and they would ring up, and the story was much the same.
Yes.
Now, I didn't even know about this story until I was on the men's helpline, actually, and but I do know that after that, when I studied, I did a bit of training, is that women emotionally leave first.
Yes.
Physically, me leave second or last. If they physically leave, they usually will not come back.
No.
There's huge difficulty resurrecting a relationship once they've physically gone. They will emotionally leave first.
Yes. Well, they've done the grieving.
They've done the grieving. They've done the loss. They are. Yep. I finished with this guy. I've tried to talk to him.
Yes.
Blah blah blah.
Yes.
The point of fact is the men are shocked actually at that point. They may have known there was all these signs leading up to it which they didn't realise or appreciate at the time, but the fact is at that point they've gone and the guy is devastated. He's really devastated.
Yes. Yeah. I know of an exact circumstance like that a couple of years ago where this woman that I knew came to me and said, look, I'm trying to get my husband to understand where we're at. And eventually she went, that's it, we're done.
Yes.
And she had been saying to him for 10 years, this can't continue.
Yeah.
He had an addiction which was not helping the situation, and she was trying to help him and support him through dealing with his addiction. But when it finally came, then out came the flowers and the photos on the wall and the chocolates, and it was like 10 years, almost 10 years too late. And it was tragic in a way because, anyway, I did some interviews around that time, and I approached men and women, and I said to women, one guy was a coach, but I said to women, what is it that you would like men to know?
Yeah, right.
What are the three things?
Right, yeah.
And I can't remember the other two, but I've got them written down. But the primary one out of this research, the primary thing was, I wish men would listen. Not try and fix it, not think that it's broken, but simply listen. And I think that as in a relationship, one of the healthiest things we can do is make an effort, and it's not about date nights, it's about making an effort to regularly check in to the relationship.
Yeah.
How are we going? What's working for you? What's not working for you? What's working for me? What's not working for me? I'm getting a bit bored. I'm getting a bit bored in the bedroom. I'm getting a bit bored that we're not going out more. I'm getting a bit bored that we haven't had a holiday for a while. You know, whatever it is, and partnered together, working together to solve whatever needs to be done.
Yeah.
To reignite and re-inspire the relationship.
Okay.
But you're right, the number of times where the messages, the writing is on the wall literally for months, years before, and then eventually it's done.
Yeah.
The grieving's happened.
The grieving's happened, and these are great tips in my view for what to do when the relationship isn't what it was, and what you could do to rebuild it while you still can. The other side of it is when it's all over.
Well, one's preventative.
One's preventative.
And the next one is then CPR.
CPR, yeah.
You know, what do you do for the man that's then... And the only thing that I can suggest...
Because you've been through it yourself, John.
Yeah. And the only thing I can suggest for a man who's in that other side is absolutely get support, whether it's through Lifeline, whether it's through Beyond Blue, whether it's, whatever counselling service you want to use. And you can also simply go and get the company of other men again.
Yeah.
The number of times I've sat in groups, gatherings, men's circles, retreats, whatever it is, and men talking about the pain of those experiences, the separation.
Yeah.
But when they are heard, when they realise that they're in the company of men who aren't going to judge them, who've possibly been through those experiences themselves and sometimes more than once, and they're not going to enable that man's behaviour. If there's something about that man's behaviour that caused that outcome, they're not going to enable him and say that's okay. They're going to call him accountable for that behaviour, but they're also going to support him and help him understand. And sometimes it's okay, I have to pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and go, what did I learn from that experience?
That's right. Hi there. Look, thanks for watching this video, and if you've enjoyed what we're doing and what we're about here at Cant to Can, subscribe below and you can be kept up to date with all the interesting things that we're doing to make people's lives better. Thank you.